Hey, throw your name on here. It is currently second hour 2. Okay. A system of equations is still a collection of 2 or more equations. Ooh. And a solution to a system of equations is still the point that makes both of those equations true. Alright, our steps are the exact same as yesterday, except I erased where it said or both, or I erased where I had crossed out or both. I added that back in. So today we are going to have to multiply both of our equations so that a variable will eliminate. As we go through each example, we'll talk about the different things you can do to make your variables eliminate. And then I'll tell you guys on your assignments, on most of the problems, there's 2 ways you can make your variables eliminate. You can either make your x's eliminate or your y's eliminate. I did them both on the answer key, so I did the assignment twice essentially. Because there's lots of options. There's literally an infinite number of ways you could do every single problem on here. It's just kind of up to you of picking a way. And there's ways that are simpler than others as well. So once we make it so that one of our variables will eliminate, we add them together to eliminate it, solve, plug in, solve for the other variable. Everything else is smooth sailing just like it was yesterday. The only thing that's harder about today than yesterday is this one first step. So let's go look at our first problem. We've got 4x plus 5y equals negative 14, or 6x plus 3y equals 6. Okay, so we need to talk about how to make one of those sets of either x's or y's cancel. So we are going to have to look at what's called the lowest common multiple to figure out what's going to be easiest to cancel. So 4 and 6, what is the smallest number that is a multiple of both 4 and 6? Yeah, 12. So we could turn 4 and 6 both into 12. We would have to make one positive, one negative. Okay, think about it. Don't shout it out yet. What is the smallest number that we can turn both 5 and 3 into? Think. Some directions. Okay, Niley, what's the smallest number we can turn them both into? 15. Okay, so we can turn those into a 15 and a negative 15. I said there's literally an infinite number of ways you could do this. The 2 most practical ways to do this would be to turn these into 12s to cancel them, or turn these into 15s to cancel them. I could also, though, turn these into 24s to cancel them, turn these into 48s to cancel them, turn these into 96s to cancel them. I could do whatever. It doesn't have to be the lowest common multiple. I could pick any common multiple. But it's easier to do the lowest common multiple and you're less likely to make mistakes. We are going to, on this one, just because I would like to cancel x's on this one, we are going to choose to do that first option and cancel out our x's by turning these both into 12s. So for our top equation, we're going to turn that 4x into a 12x. We need to multiply it by 3. So we're going to multiply our entire top equation by 3. 3 times 4x is 12x. I'm going to write it over here in this empty space. 3 times 5y is 15y. 3 times this negative 14 is negative 42. Hey, any questions about that? Because we turned our top one into a positive 12x, we need to turn our bottom one into a negative 12x. So how do we turn a 6 into a negative 12? Multiply it by negative 2. Awesome. So negative 2 times 6x is going to give me negative 12x. Negative 2 times 3y is going to give me negative 6y. And negative 2 times 6 is going to give me negative 12. As you are going through these, slow down if you need to, Take your time to write neatly enough that you can keep track of what is going on. But if you make your x's look like y's and your y's look like x's and your 9's look like 4's, your life is going to be miserable. Your life isn't going to be miserable. Doing your assignment's going to be miserable. Okay. Any questions as to what we've done? Okay, from here it's smooth sailing. We are just going to add these together. Our x's will cancel out. So our x's eliminate. 15y plus negative 6y is 9y. Negative 42 plus negative 12 is negative 54. Okay. From there, to get y by itself, we're going to divide both sides by 9. We will get y equals negative 54 divided by 9 is 6. Thank you. Negative 6. 54 and 56 are like the two numbers that I like have never and will never know the multiples of. Okay, so y equals negative 6. Any questions there? Hey, from there then, we are going to go ahead and plug in that negative 6. Do you have your pass from your division? Okay, you need to go get one. We are going to go ahead and plug that in. We can plug it in for the y in either equation. I always do the first one. You are welcome to plug it into the second one. I don't care. You'll get the same answer in the long run. 4x plus 5y equals negative 14. So we now know that y equals negative 6. So that negative 6 is getting plugged in for y. Alright, so 4x plus 5 times negative 6 equals negative 14. Five times negative 6 is negative 30, so I've got 4x minus 30 equals negative 14. And I'll add 30 to both sides. I'll get 4 equals 16. Divide both sides by 4. I'll get x equals 4. So writing my answer as an ordered pair, it would be 4, negative 6. Okay, let's chat about this. What is 4 times 4? 16. What's 5 times negative 6? Negative 30. 16 minus 30 is negative 14. Yeah. 6 times 4 is 24. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. 24 plus negative 18 or 24 minus 18 is 6. So you can real quick in your calculator or in your head plug in x and y, make sure that it checks out every time. You should be able to turn in your test and be able to be like, yep, I'm pretty sure, because I plugged all those in, I got my answers correct on almost all of these problems. Because any of them that have a solution, you should be able to do that for. Hey, flip this over. We got one more problem on the back. I just want to do one where we're going to cancel out our y's. Let's still talk about both of them. We already talked about this. What's the smallest number that 3 and 5 can both go into? 15. So we could turn those into a 15 and a negative 15. The reason why I want to cancel out y's on this one is we already have a negative and a positive. So if you already have a negative and a positive, then you're not going to need to switch any signs. The less work you have to do, the less chance there is to make a mistake. So I would do that one. What is the smallest number that 2 and 5 can go into? 10. So we're going to turn both of those into a 10. We'll multiply the top one by 5, and we'll let it stay negative. So 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times negative 2y is negative 10y. And 5 times 2 is 10. So we multiply the top one by 5. And now we have negative 10y. For the bottom one, we need to make it be positive 10y. It's already positive. So we just need to make that 5y into 10y by multiplying by 2. We'll multiply our bottom one by 2. 2 times 5x is 10x. 2 times 5y is 10y. And then 2 times negative 30 is negative 60. All right, any questions about that first step? Okay, from here then, we can just add them together. So 15x plus 10x is 25x. Negative 10y plus 10y cancel out. And 10 plus negative 60, or 10 minus 60, is negative 50. Then we divide both sides by 25. And we're going to get x equals negative 2. Make that 25 look better. Okay. Any questions about solving for x? All right, we need to go back and solve for y. You can plug it into either original equation. You could technically plug it in to either of these equations too, but the numbers are just going to be bigger. And there's also a chance you made a mistake between here and here, so why deal with that? So I'm going to use the top original equation, 3x minus 2y equals 2. I'll be plugging in negative 2 for x. So it'll be 3 times negative 2 minus 2y equals 2. Three times negative 2 is negative 6. Minus 2y equals 2. We'll add 6 to both sides. Negative 2y equals 8. And divide both sides by negative 2. Get y equals negative 4. All right. Yeah, it seems right. Actually, that seems weird. That's what I got. Negative 2, negative 4. If it seems weird, what you could do is you could go check it. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Negative 2 times negative 4 is positive 8. Negative 6 plus 8 is 2. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Negative 10 and negative 20 is negative 30. So I was just second guessing myself for some reason. If you're second guessing yourself, go plug it in and check it. All right, any questions right now? Okay, I'm going to stop my notes video then.